So I've had 2 viewings of Scream.
I have had none.
Going on my 3rd tonight with you. Are you excited?
I'm very excited. I love that franchise.
Dude, you love the franchise, brother.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Quick review. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna do a spoiler review with you next week.
Okay. That good? Oh man.
It has issues.
Yeah.
Overall, very good.
Okay. All right, I'm excited.
Like, I can't wait to talk about it with you after we've watched it.
Now that you can say things about it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm excited. Speaking of Scream, Joss Whedon. Hello, everyone. I'm Dalton Burdett.
I'm Nick Iricchio.
And we are the Movie Knights.
Well, some of them.
If you're watching this because you want to hear our uncensored,
Unfiltered
thoughts and opinions about the world of movies and entertainment news, so kick back.
Relax.
And thank you for being part of the conversation. Dude, we nailed that.
I did, except I hit my mouth on this one when I said relax.
Did it hurt?
It didn't hurt, but it's going to look awkward.
Nah, it's all right.
We'll get it down. We'll get it on pat. We'll get it down. We'll get it eventually. We'll get it eventually. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
We cut that?
Cut
Cut.
Have you been listening to that?
Yeah, I'm like 3 episodes in.
So good.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got to go quick today because we got Wings and Scream.
In that order.
Yes. And we're going to kick things off with the fucking box office.
Woot woot!
I love the box office, baby. And Scream dethroned Spider-Man.
Does that make you happy?
Yes. Emphatically. Making $30 million in its opening weekend. Spider-Man No Way Home comes in 2nd place, only dropping 38% from its 4th to 5th week, making $20 million. Sing 2, it comes in at $7.9 million in the 3rd place spot. The 355, piece of shit, comes in 4th place, dropping 51% at $2.2 million. And The King's Man comes in at $2.3 million. That poor fucking movie.
That movie's chugging along, though.
Yeah, it stayed in the top 5, but it's not doing great.
Yeah, what's that say? 28 million?
Yeah. So.
What's Spider-Man at worldwide?
Oh, brother, I have those numbers for you right here. So, Spider-Man, No Way Home, that lovely, lovely film, has worldwide made $1.6 billion, and the numbers aren't updated on here. But domestically, dude, it's made 8.1 times its production budget. Domestically has now made $704 million, making it the 4th highest grossing domestic movie of all time. It passed Black Panther. The only movies in front of it now are Avatar, Endgame, and Star Wars The Force Awakens. Yeah. In the pandemic, dude. This is always going to be one of those what ifs in movie history. Like, what if this film came out in like normal movie going times?
I mean, it's what, 400 million away from about 2 billion?
It ain't getting there.
No. Non-pandemic?
Oh, non-pandemic?
Cleared.
Yeah.
If only they got a China release, too.
If
they got a China release right now, I bet they'd get it.
Maybe. I think it would, in the non-pandemic era, it would have passed Avatar. Mm-hmm. I don't think it would have gotten to Endgame because that's like 858 domestically, which is insane. Dude, Force Awakens is almost $1 billion domestically. Just domestically.
Holy crap.
That record will not be broken in our lifetime. But yes, Spider-Man performing very well. Now we're going to go on to Scream box office. Hello. Scream has made $48 million worldwide so far. Let me see if it has its budget on here. Its budget was $24 million. Woo! It's already doubled that bitch, baby.
I smell a Scream cool.
Oh, look at me. Yes. Give me more. I was telling Nick the other day and some of my other friends, like, other than like Marvel, Star Wars, DC, Scream is like my favorite fucking franchise. I love Scream. And honestly, hold on, I'm going to look something up really quick.
Yeah.
While we're here, because I'm pretty sure it's already made more money than Scream 4. Which would be, if I could spell it right.
Screen 4. No, that's the new one.
My fucking ADD brain.
I kept seeing people, because this one, the new Scream is just called Scream. Mm-hmm. Everyone that's been writing reviews and tweeting about it just keeps calling it 5 Cream.
Good. That's what it deserves to be called. Yo, they break down DVD sales? That's fucking cool. No, but anyway, Scream 4, okay, worldwide's made 95, so it hasn't made that yet. I think it's on the way to pass that, though. But dude,
yeah, what's it, 2nd week?
Yeah. And do think about it. The 4th movie in a horror franchise almost made $100 million worldwide. That's fucking
That's pretty good. Is that their budget? $40 million. There we go.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Good on them.
Good on them.
Dude, the money's in horror.
Superheroes and horror.
Superheroes and horror.
My 2 favorite fucking things ever. Love it.
It's all going to be IP. Ben Affleck.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I watched that interview. Did you watch that whole video I sent you?
I watched about 10 minutes of it, and then I didn't get a chance to finish it up.
It gets really, really good. Towards the end, they talk about a lot of cool things. But anyway, moving on to our first story of the day.
Did they talk about Batman?
They do a little bit. I'm going to skip around a little bit because we're running a little short on time.
Nah, you're good.
This one's just for you. So, a while ago, we heard that they were going to be doing a spin-off project of A Quiet Place. I love the first one. I love the second one. And it was reported that Jeff Nichols was going to be directing that film. He was the director of that Michael Shannon movie, Midnight Something. It's leaving me. He directed a really good Michael Shannon movie.
Okay.
And now he has left the project.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a new director for the Quiet Place spin-off. And that person, Nicholas, is the director of Pig, Michael Sarnowski.
Right on.
Taking this from Deadline. With Jeff Nichols leaving the project in October, Paramount Pictures has moved fast on his replacement and looks to have found one in the more sought-after rising stars in town. Sources tell Deadline that Pig director Michael Sarnowski is in negotiations to helm the untitled next installment of A Quiet Place franchise. He is also brought on to pen the script. And then it goes on to say that the only details they have is that it is not a direct sequel. It's just more of another movie in that world. What are your thoughts on the Pig director directing a fucking Quiet Place, baby?
Well, I loved Pig. It was my number 5 movie of the year.
Yes.
I love me some Nick Cage. I thought it was very well directed.
Yeah.
Especially, and I believe he wrote it as well.
Mm-hmm.
As one of his early features, right? Maybe his debut.
I don't know if it's debut, but it's early.
It was the one that got him. Like, people were like, "Oh, look at this guy."
Yeah.
And quite honestly, tonally and everything, I could see. If you told me Pig was in the Quiet Place universe, I would have been like, yeah, all right. You know what I mean? Like, I think tonally he'll fit with that. And please bring Nick Cage.
Oh, I would love it if Nick Cage was in.
Nick Cage was in the Quiet Place, because it's just so ironic.
Yeah, because he can't.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it's a great choice. I think he's going to take an interesting take to it as a director, and it'll be cool to see different versions of the Quiet Place story and see what's going on in different parts.
Yeah, and I'm just excited because something he nailed with Pig was just emotion and character.
Yeah.
Like, you feel everything Nick Cage is going through, partially because of his amazing performance, but also partially because it's directed in a way where you follow this guy as he mourns. Yeah. And the film almost reflects that. And I'm excited to get something like that in the world of A Quiet Place, because those type of themes and his type of capabilities really mesh well with that type of world. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited. I think it's a great choice. What do you guys think about the director of Pig joining the spinoff for A Quiet Place? Let us know down in the comments below. You know how just earlier we were talking about superheroes and horror?
Yes.
Well, let's combine the bitches, shall we? Coming from The Hollywood Reporter. Well, it's not an exclusive, but oh, dude, I'm so excited I can't even. So, you should know at home. A horror franchise that I love, and granted, most of them suck. Like, most of them are bad. I love them anyway, and that's Final Destination. Holy shit, do I love Final Destination.
He does. He made me watch two of them.
Yeah.
2 of them. Yep, the first 2.
Although, I want him to go watch 5, because 5 is the best one. Like, no shit, you can skip the other ones.
Yeah.
5 is the best.
I'll watch 5, I'm a completist. You told me not to watch Scream 3, and what did I do?
True. 5 has a fresh rating.
Huh.
Yes.
Is it the only one with a fresh rating?
Yes.
Not even the first one has a fresh rating?
Not even the first one.
Huh.
Yeah. I love 5. It's great.
Yeah.
And there's a twist in 5, but I don't want to spoil it for you. Mm-hmm. Don't look it up. Don't tell them in the comments. But it was really cool. No, don't. But anyway, speaking of Final Destination, they're finally doing Final Destination 6. It's going to be for HBO Max. And here's the thing. John motherfucking Watts of Spider-Man No Way Home fame is going to produce it, and he pinned the fucking treatment when it was pitched.
My man.
Are you kidding me?
My man.
Are you kidding me? And it gets even better, because one of the writers is going to be Gary Busick, who wrote Ready or Not, and is one of the writers on the movie we're going to watch tonight, Scream 5.
5 Cream.
5 Cream. It's just amazing, and something that made it even better. They don't have the quote here in the Hollywood Reporter story, but John Watts is literally quoted just going, "I love those movies." He's like, this is gonna be fun.
I love John Watts so much.
I love him too, and it's just like I'm so fucking excited about that. It's gonna be so much fun. What?
That headline and this whole article is your equivalent of the article talking about how Nick Cage is gonna be Dracula.
Yeah.
From like a Robert Kirkman Walking Dead writer script directed by who's directing it? It's losing me now.
Oh, it's losing me too.
Whatever. That article, just everything lining up in that. This is mine. This is your Renfield.
Spider-Man director John Watts to produce Final Destination for new line on HBO Max. Yes, that's exactly what this is.
What a great spot for Final Destination. Too.
Oh yeah, for streaming, yeah, awesome. Just as long as it's not on the road behind a log truck, we'll be fine. What do you guys think about?
It's a reference to Final Destination too.
Good, you remembered.
First one was a plane.
Good job. You know what the third one is?
Roller coaster.
You know what the fourth one is?
Cruise.
No, they haven't done a boat yet.
I thought they did a boat.
No.
What's 4?
4 is a NASCAR race.
Oh, hell yeah. What's 5?
5 is a bridge collapse.
And that's the fresh one? Oh, hell yeah.
It's awesome.
Done.
But anyway, what do you guys think about this? Let us know down in the comments below. Moving on to our second to last story because of the shit that happened earlier today. Yeah. Okay. I need you guys to understand 2 things. One of my favorite action films of all time. Honestly, I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
The greatest action movie of all time are The Raid and The Raid 2. I think.
Mm-hmm. Con Air, gone.
And I love those films.
Yeah.
And Gareth Evans, who directed those films, amazing. I've always wanted to see The Raid 3. With the news I'm about to share, it's never going to happen now.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm going to say what I'm about to say, you're going to think, oh man, he must be upset. The answer is no, because of how I feel about reboots and remakes. I'm going to tell you why. The story comes from Deadline as an exclusive. Michael Bay, Gareth Evans, and Patrick Hughes team on a new reimagining of Gareth Evans' The Raid for Netflix. Now, this was briefly talked about many years ago with Frank Grillo starring. I don't think that version of the project is happening. I don't know. It doesn't mention it here. But basically, Michael Bay is going to produce it, and Patrick Hughes is going to direct an Americanized version of The Raid for Netflix. And the film was... Hold on. Let me see. They quote like how it's going to be a little bit different. Where is it at? Hollywood has been trying to reboot the title ever since, and this looks like one that will finally make it into production. This version is set in Philadelphia's drug-infested Badlands, where an elite undercover DEA task force climbs the ladder of cartel informants to catch the exclusive kingpin. So it will be very similar to the original film, but it will also take place in Philadelphia, which I think is interesting. But yes, so here's the thing. Do I expect this movie to even touch how good The Raid and The Raid 2 will be? Absolutely not. Am I upset that the film is going to happen? No way. Reason being, 1, there's a chance that this film could be really good. And if it is great, we have another great movie. 2, it could suck horrifically awful, but guess what? Raid and Raid 2 don't disappear, baby. I can go watch them whenever I want.
Yeah.
And 3, the most important one, and this is something that not a lot of people will talk about when films are remade or rebooted. When a film is remade, rebooted, requeled, whatever, more people than ever watch the original film. They look it up, you see the rental sales go through the roof, all of that happens. And I know that there's a section of people, since it's a foreign language movie, who have not seen The Raid and The Raid 2. When the trailer for this one drops and Twitter starts talking about the original Raid, a ton of people who have never seen The Raid are going to watch The Raid. And that excites the shit out of me. So this movie could suck. I don't give a shit.
So what is... Gareth Evans did the original too.
Yes.
What is his involvement in this?
It says he's going to be an executive producer, so he's going to sit on his ass and get a fat check.
Patrick Hughes, what is he known for?
I believe he did The Expendables 3. Let me see what else he's done. Patrick Hughes. Yes, he's done The Expendables 3, The Hitman's Bodyguard, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Yeah.
Okay.
So
not the best action.
Not the best action.
I'm going to be upfront.
Yep, it's same.
Do I like all of those movies? Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Look, like I said, I'm not upset that the movie's happening. I'm perfectly fine with it.
Yeah.
But here's what I will say. I already think they're not even going to try to make the action like it is in the original film. You can't.
You can't.
So I'm thinking they're gonna Americanize the shit out of the movie, make it more like the movie SWAT. Have you seen that movie?
I've not.
People who've seen it know exactly what I mean. Just like a heist on the run, but in a building. Movie. And I think they're just gonna do that. And honestly, I don't blame them because the amount of work. You guys, look at me. I want the audience to look at me. If you're listening, listen carefully. You have never seen action sequences as good as in The Raid and The Raid 2. Can you confirm?
Can confirm. The
greatest action sequences put to film. Some of them. Now, I know there are some classic Jackie Chan's.
Yeah.
There are some great Bruce Lee action. Even that cast of The Raid has gone on to do other films. Like, there's a great film on Netflix called The Night Comes for Us. With those... Kyler said it was good. Kyler liked an action movie. That's how good it was.
He liked The Raid.
He did like The Raid. We still have to watch The Raid 2 with him.
He really liked The Raid. Did he really like it, or you go, that was good?
No, he liked it.
He liked it, yeah.
And we still have to watch The Raid 2, which I will make him do this week. But
I very much hope that Frank Grillo's involved.
I hope so too.
I love Frank Grillo.
I love him as well. But here's the thing. The amount of work that has to go into that, I don't even think they want to touch that.
Yeah, no.
To be honest.
No.
Now, I would admire them if they did, and the action's just as good, because there are tons of stunt performers working in America, or even around the world, who can pull it off. The problem is, do they want to spend the time and the money and inflate their egos to let someone else do the job
when
for
they
them?
can just have guns.
Yes. So I'm a little bit worried in that regard, but I'm in no way offended or mad about something happening. I just don't expect it to be very good. Now, maybe the trailers come out and it changes my mind, but if you learn anything from this story tonight, ladies and gentlemen, please, I have no idea if they're streaming or not. I have them on Blu-ray. Please look up The Raid. It's also called The Raid Redemption, and The Raid 2, and I think that The Raid 2 Barrendale. The Raid and The Raid 2.
Yeah.
Watch them. You won't regret it, and don't watch the subbed version. Or, I'm sorry, don't watch the dubbed version. It's awful. I'm just a subbed guy anyway. But especially, you know when dubbing's especially bad? Like, it's especially bad. So...
Yeah, there was quick aside. There was a movie on Netflix that I want to watch. I guess it's Danish? Dutch. And I started it, and it was, like, dubbed. Or I watched the trailer because I went, what is this? And it was the trailer was dubbed, and I was like, oh, my God. But it was, like, so late that I didn't want to read. Yeah. Like, you know, not I have nothing wrong with subtitled films, but it was like, you know, like, I need to pay attention, and I wasn't in the mood to pay attention.
Yeah, I got you.
But, yeah, no, definitely watch it subbed if you can.
Yeah. But anyway, moving on to our last story tonight. I want you to take the reins on this one, because you're the one that pointed out to me earlier today.
Oh, man. Well, you know, you're wearing the right jacket.
Oh, yeah. I prepare for the moment, dude.
Is everyone in the audience familiar with Joss Whedon?
I'd say they're vaguely familiar, yes.
Creator of hit TV shows, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel, Dollhouse, Firefly, did he do?
Yep, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Firefly, he produced Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with his brother, directed Avengers of Age of Ultron, and a re-editing of Justice League. We will refer to as Justice League.
And he reshot a lot of that movie.
To fit his re-edit. He's in the news. There was a giant...
Well, let's quickly mention why he's been out of the news.
He's been out of the news due to allegations of sexual misconduct, physical misconduct...
passive racism, just being an overall douchebag on set.
Yes, just not a good person.
Yeah,
and a lot of that centered around Justice League, primarily focused with Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, and Ray Fisher, Cyborg, were kind of the front runners of all of this. And as that kind of happened, well, I believe it originally started with an ex-girlfriend writing an opinion piece.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, before Justice League even was a thing. And then it came to light.
A lot of time passed.
And then Justice League happened, and Gal Gadot came out with some stuff. Ray Fisher was really the spearheading of all of this.
Yeah.
And some former stars, I believe Charisma Carpenter, who was in Buffy as well as Angel, she came forward with some stuff. I think a lot of hers was emotional. I don't think there was any physical.
Not crazy physical, just like minor like scratching, which we heard today.
But a lot of emotional abuse and just
verbal
sexual
abuse.
misconduct. And so he's been out of the news for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
He's just been laying low. While Warner Brothers conducted an investigation based off of Fisher, which they will not release the findings for.
Mm-hmm.
Conveniently. But he decided he wanted to do an interview. So he did an interview. And why he did the interview, I have no idea, because nothing he says helps his argument at all. And yeah,
fascinating, that one.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on all this why would he do an interview?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But also the things he said, and the reason why I'm glad we're talking about this is because for those of you who don't know, I'm going to peel the curtain back a little bit on Nicholas here. He went to school for marketing and communications and PR. I could say that's kind of what you're passionate about. From your perspective, first of all, and by the way, when he's about to speak, it's solely from what should have happened from a PR perspective. We're not condoning or anything that happened on what Joss Whedon did. You're Joss Whedon's rep. All this shit comes out about Justice League, because I think being quiet was the right move PR-wise. Yeah. What is your move? The correct PR thing to do there versus what actually happened.
I mean, I just don't do the interview. Because just all of his responses were just not
shockingly
helping.
Tone deaf. Like,
yeah. And
basically, if you had any doubt that he didn't do those things, I read what he said and I'm like, oh, he did all of that shit.
And
immediately.
He kept asking to use the bathroom, and every time the guy noted it in the article, and then he's like, yeah, Joss later convinced that when he was uncomfortable with a question, his PR agency told him to say you have to use the restroom and then think for a minute. And he did it so many times throughout the interview.
Yeah.
So some of the main highlights, or not highlights, but some of the takeaways from it. They had one person who was a writer on Buffy, I believe, said that Joss Whedon grabbed her arm and kind of dug his nails in, and then also another person, they did a script and he belittled them in front of everyone for 90 minutes. They went page by page,
Jesus.
Line by line, just ridiculous. She said there was they described it almost like a cult following among the Joss Whedon was a god, and you did not mess with God.
Yeah.
And the writers who dare tried to humanize him and make him human, or just say he's just some guy, were then villainized by the rest of the staff. And
because he did shoot to stardom after Buffy and Firefly and those things.
Yeah. And
he was one of the first behind-the-scenes writers on TV that was known. Kind of like how Quentin Tarantino was one of the first directors to popularize being a film director.
Yeah.
And even Spielberg before him and stuff. Joss Whedon was one of the first people that made, what a showrunner is now because you've heard of Joss Whedon.
Yes.
Right.
And he had what was described as multiple affairs with stars of the show. Not stars, but actors, actresses, whether it was a guest star or whatever, be it an extra. One described him as making out behind someone's desk, to which Joss Whedon said why would I do that? Which is a fair point, but also on the other person's end, it's a very
odd thing. Yeah,
because he was if I was having an affair, which I was cheating on my wife. Why would I do it so publicly behind? So it's kind of that one. You're but that's a weird thing to make up on that other person's behalf.
It's too specific to
yes. And again, affairs. Michelle Trachtenberg, who played I think Buffy's sister in later seasons. She was 15, 16 at the time, and I guess there was a rule that Joss Whedon was not to be alone with her, which Joss Whedon claimed he knew nothing of, which means that it possibly was done behind his back.
Yeah, which is worse.
Which is bad.
Yeah.
And then going into Charisma Carpenter, she was pregnant, and he kept making comments about her being fat and asking if she was going to keep it. And then she had a bunch of basically breakdowns, and she cut her hair, she got a tattoo, and then she kept the baby, and Joss Whedon fired her. shortly after that. And then moving into the Justice League era, he described the cast as the rudest, most unprofessional people he's ever worked with.
Ben Affleck, Jason Momoa, you can sit there and tell me they're the rudest, most unprofessional people you've ever worked with?
Yeah. Ben Affleck, who's been in Hollywood for how long?
Yeah, Amy Adams.
Yeah. And so I'll highlight, because the rest of the cast kind of remained pretty in the background. Ray Fisher as Cyborg and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman were at the forefront of all of it. I believe that Gal Gadot had issues with some of the reshoots.
Yeah, there was a sequence where, a reshot sequence where the Flash was going to trip and fall into Wonder Woman's cleavage.
Yes.
And Gal Gadot refused to shoot the scene to the point where they had to use a body double because she locked herself in her trailer and was like, I'm not filming that fucking scene. And
he basically threatened her career, said she'd never work again. I forget the exact quote from the article, but had said something about, like, she's tying him to train tracks. And he was using, like, very weird metaphors. And then he just writes the whole thing off as saying that English is not Gal Gadot's first language and that she just didn't understand what he was saying.
Which is fucking unbelievable that he said that.
Which is a lot. And to which Gal Gadot, this article dropped today. And Gal Gadot's already issued a statement and said, I understood completely. I'm never working with him. And I advise all of my peers to also never work with him. Jesus. So, very bad on that. And the big one is Ray Fisher. Because as you've seen, if you've seen Zack Snyder's Justice League or heard anyone talk about it, Cyborg was always...
He's the heart of that movie.
The heart of that movie. He was the center of the movie. And if you watch Justice League...
He's barely in it.
You'd forget he's in it.
Yeah.
And they took out a lot of scenes that were really centered on Cyborg and all of his character and everything like that. And
I encourage you guys to look up some of the stuff Ray Fisher said about Joss Whedon, because part of the original divide of not believing Ray Fisher was like, well, of course he's an actor and he's pissed his scenes got cut.
Yeah.
But then when you hear the shit that Joss Whedon would tell him, would do to him, would ask him to do, and things he would say to him, it was like shocking, the stuff he would say. So anyway, continue.
And Joss Whedon's response now to it was that Warner Brothers conducted their investigation, and it is settled. In Joss Whedon's words. I feel like Ray Fisher would disagree.
Yeah.
And basically he said, in terms of Cyborg's story arc and everything like that, Joss Whedon said that those storylines just were not working, and that Ray Fisher's a bad actor. That was his argument. That your scenes got cut because you're a bad actor.
Which is, first of all,
he's fine. He's not bad.
Which, first of all, unbelievable that that's his response after these accusations from a PR standpoint.
Correct.
2, he's acting like we haven't seen the movie now.
Yeah, now that we've seen it. Yeah.
And Ray Fisher is great in it.
Yes.
He's great.
Yeah.
Like that ATM sequence. You tell me he's a bad actor and that story doesn't make sense?
His story worked perfectly throughout that movie.
It was incredible.
Yeah. So
he is the reason they win. Him and Flash are the reason that they win at the end.
Yeah. So it was a lot of just weird statement. I don't see how he himself could come out of that interview and say, I nailed that.
Yeah.
Like,
it was shockingly bad.
Which could just speak to his ego if he has this sort of egocentric...
and that's why I said when I read the interview, I'm like, oh, he did all of that shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's clear from that interview that he's still...
And in his mind, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think the PR move, even if you feel like you didn't do anything wrong, the PR move is you start your apology tour and you stay on it the rest of your career. Yeah. Like, and the fact that he hasn't is, like, shocking. Now, it should be pointed out he hasn't been criminally prosecuted for anything, and he hasn't been, according to the investigation, he hasn't been reprimanded or fired or from anything.
With previous people all settled. And,
but, like, with this response, this didn't feel like I reflected and I still think I'm correct. It felt like I won. Like, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And it was weird. It was just weird how he responded. And I've said it 3 times now, but I read those comments and was like, oh, yep, Ray Fisher was not kidding. He did all that. And
I'm just curious now that this has come out And I understand. I don't understand like why the other cast members haven't spoken anything.
Well, Jason Momoa did.
Oh, did he?
Because he, for a while, Warner Brothers made an announcement on the same day that Ray Fisher did an interview.
Oh, about him being Frosty
About
Snowman.
him being Frosty Snowman, and that he was going to work with Jeff Johns again. Because it was not only Joss Whedon, but Jeff Johns was also very rude to Ray Fisher. And Jason Momoa put out a statement on his Instagram that's like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That's a fake announcement. It's because they're trying to put down Ray because some shit went down on that set that you guys don't know about. Yeah. And that was the only thing he ever said about it. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, oh, damn, you know?
Yeah.
And I haven't heard Henry Cavill say anything. I haven't heard Ben Affleck say anything.
No, I think the only things they've ever said was just about release the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Was their just whole...
Yeah.
But I don't...
now, Ben Affleck has said that shooting the movie was miserable.
Yes.
But he didn't go into specific... Other than his personal stuff.
And he also didn't specify if it was... Did he specify it was the reshoots or just everything in general?
Well, what he did say was he was already not in a good mental state, and then Zach's daughter died. And he said that obviously we're all supportive of Zach, but it threw the movie into such a loop when that happened that it was just
he was already in a bad place.
He pretty much just like everything from that point on was, you know.
So yeah, they've always
and that's when the reshoots happened after that. So
and again, a big point of the article, part of the article also talks about this whole like, if Joss didn't like you, he didn't like you. If he liked you, you never saw any of this side, and he made sure that you knew of none of it.
Yeah.
Which could be potentially the case with some of the like Cavill hasn't spoken and Ben Affleck. But when all the evidence is there, it is kind of like, why don't they say something? But also,
and listen,
from a PR standpoint, I get it. But also, when it's your cast members, if you are as close, you know.
And what really speaks to me,
it's bystander.
And something else that he said, which was fucking ridiculous, is he pretty much claims that Zack Snyder put people up to trash talking him so they could get his cut released, which is fucking ridiculous. But one, you know, it speaks volumes when, because like I've directed. Obviously, nothing on fucking Justice League scale, or even like a movie with a quarter of that budget.
Maybe
scale.
Justice League scale.
Jesus. But even I know the nervousness of texting somebody who's worked on a movie for you, but you still have like one more scene to shoot or one more ADR that wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah.
And just that awkward, like, hey, you've done so much for me and I really should not be asking more of you, but can you please come back? Like I've had to make those phone calls and do those text messages, and it's nerve-inducing, it's nerve-wracking. The fact that all those people came back and helped Zach shows two things. One, that they respect and love him. And two, if they really loved Joss Whedon and what Joss Whedon did with that movie, it wouldn't matter to them.
Yeah.
Even if no matter how much they love Zach, it wouldn't have mattered. So that was also kind of evidence of like, they felt
Affleck came back. Affleck shot new.
Yes. The fact that they felt like, I have to do right by this.
Yeah.
I think is just more evidence of that, you know?
Yeah. It's... If anything, it just cemented we're not going to hear Joss Whedon for a while.
No.
Unless he just keeps starting doing all these interviews again, which he's eventually just going to topple over his own words.
Yeah.
And it's just going to spiral.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
And quite frankly, good.
Yeah.
After reading that article, you're like... Wow.
Yeah.
And again, even from the start, like the stuff Ray Fisher was saying, and you could initially see the argument of like, okay, maybe he wants to do, but everyone's response, fake movie articles, the bad act, all of their arguments were just so generalized and like straw man arguments that you're just like, oh, they're just trying to throw shit at the fans so that the painting gets covered.
Exactly. And not only that, now don't take this to the bank because I am not a source, but I've heard that the reason why you don't see MCU people coming out, because who've worked with Joss several times, is because one of what you said of like, if he liked you, you never saw that side of him. And two, apparently on the first Avengers movie, Kevin Feige knew about the stuff about Joss Whedon and apparently told him, we have no room for that shit on this set because we're trying to do something unprecedented here.
Yeah.
And that the mission was clear, basically. And then on the second movie, Joss started acting up, and then that's when they were like,
You lost Infinity War. Goodbye.
Yeah. And basically, because Joss always said, like, oh, Marvel was getting very hands-on, and I had to leave, which is partially true. Mm-hmm. But it also has to do with they were just like,
I wonder why they were getting hands-on.
Basically, they saw the future red flag, and they were like, no.
Well, because even one of his quotes was, I guess, because he said in the article that he would work with Ray Fisher on Cyborg's character, which is probably false.
Yeah.
But I guess Ray Fisher would say something, and Joss Whedon, the quote was like, I feel like I'm taking notes, and I don't take notes.
Yeah.
Ask Robert Downey Jr. And it's like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, it's like, why the fuck would you say that?
Why would you say that?
Yeah. It's shocking. But what are your guys' thoughts on this whole fiasco of a mess? Let us know down in the comments below. Nicholas, thank you so much for coming over every week to record this with me.
Yes.
We're in a new year.
Can we lighten the tone up here a bit with a rumor?
Yes, we can.
I do have a quick rumor of the roundtable.
Do it, baby.
So again, rumors, nothing confirmed. This one is about Doctor Strange 2 and potential cameos.
I don't know if I want to know.
No?
Go ahead.
I want a few.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, not confirmed.
Yeah, it is rumors. It's just rumors.
It is rumors, but it is rumored that they have a fan favorite cast choice that they have casted in John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
Shit.
As the thing said, a variant of Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, okay.
Which could mean that he is not going to be the MCU.
Mm-hmm. But it's that
Mr.
little
Fantastic.
But it's still that little nod for the fans.
Yeah, of just like, here you go. But also that's a dangerous game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, had we seen Reed Richards before Doctor Strange 2, I would have said maybe.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there is now if we get in, like, if the movie starts and the opening scene is like Doctor Strange meet Reed Richards and it's the actor, I'd be like, oh shit. And then later,
they get a bunch
and
of
then
them,
later in the movie we see John Krasinski like,
but
okay.
The thing is, John Krasinski's so likable that it's like
that if you cast someone else, like, why would you do that?
What is your casting choice?
That's after you do this variant
that's
thing?
Going to show that.
Because even with Jonathan Majors on Loki, he plays a variant of Kang, but he's still gonna play Kang.
Yeah,
so it's like,
So again, rumors. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like if it's true, he would not be the MCU's Mr. Fantastic, just because that seems like a weird place to introduce him. Like, again, my banking has always been on Ant-Man. Yeah. For a few reasons. One, I feel like that makes the most sense because I feel like instead of space, they're going to do a quantum realm thing with them. Yeah. And two, I feel like it'd be a nice little, because Peyton Reed, the director of the Ant-Man movies, has always wanted Fantastic Four.
That's true.
And obviously they went with John Watts, which, again, fantastic. Both of them would have been fantastic choices.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I think Peyton Reed's a phenomenal filmmaker. I love the Ant-Man movies. So I feel like kind of maybe, because Kevin Feige loves everyone. Yeah. So I feel like maybe his kind of like, hey, we're going to do the Fantastic Four in the post-credit scene. Mm-hmm. Here's who we cast. Can you film the intro? Yeah. As like Peyton Reed.
As like a here you go to Peyton Reed.
You get to do that.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
So, can I throw my fan cast out there real quick, Mr. Fantastic?
Throw it out, bitch.
Glenn Howerton.
Fucking love that. I just love Glenn Howerton.
Because listen, hear me out. Because there's a few ways you could take Mr. Fantastic, right? Mm-hmm. And Glenn Howerton has been not getting big roles for a while, right? He lost Star-Lord. He loses a lot to Chris Pratt, quite frankly. And it is because they're different. Chris Pratt is goofy. Yeah. Lovable. And Star-Lord is a douchebag, but there's like this kind of like
lovable douchebag,
depending on your feelings on Chris Pratt, but yes. Right. And Glenn Howerton's not that. Yeah. Glenn Howerton's just a straight dick. Mm-hmm. As the way he plays characters. I can't speak to him in real life. Yeah. And I feel like with Mr. Fantastic, because he is the smartest man in the MCU, you can take an aspect where he's just a dick about it. Yeah. And snarky and basically what Iron Man is in the comics, where it's just like, fuck you, I'm a genius. Yeah. And I feel like Glenn Howerton could nail that.
Only if Caitlin Olsen plays the Invisible Woman.
Rob
McElhenney plays the Thing. And Charlie Day plays the Human Torch.
Flame on! I don't know. I'd love to hear Charlie Day go, it's clobbering time!
Yes, switch them. Rob is
Flame on Jabroni.
And Charlie Day is the...
No, Danny DeVito's Thing.
Oh my god, yes.
But yeah, that's the rumor.
Oh yeah, it's clobbering time.
It's clobbering time.
Yeah, but I don't believe the rumor.
But he's still a little.
Yeah.
he's Danny DeVito size with the thing.
Now, those are the variants I want to see. No, I don't believe the rumor. I hope that John Krasinski plays him, but I don't want it to be a variant. Or if it is a variant, I hope we meet him as John Krasinski.
Yeah.
I was told a little something about Doctor Strange 2, which I won't share here. But after I was told it, I told the person, don't fucking tell me anything else. Because this person was right a lot about No Way Home. And part of the reason why I let them tell me things is because I didn't think they were right about No Way Home. And then they were. And I was like, all right, you need to shut the fuck up.
The shit was just too bad shit that you're like, no.
I'm like, you need to shut the fuck up about Doctor Strange 2. I don't want to know. So, I'm intrigued. I'll say that.
All right.
I'll tell you after we stop recording.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you for the rumor, sir.
Yeah, of course.
And thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.